Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci.com. Welcome for another weekly edition. My top stocks to watch for the coming week. Like, subscribe, and let's see the charts. Before the top stocks, let's first do some kind of a wrap up from the previous week. SPY closed the week with a 2.12% to the downside. Overall, SPY is now from all-time highs until the closing, almost 6% to the downside. We are below this trend line. Now the 522 area needs to hold the support. As we can see, this is how it looks on the daily. We have Friday's gap. Now the 528 needs to hold, otherwise 516. Overall bearish on all time frames on the SPY. QQQ ended up the week, as we can see, third week in a row. We are 3% on the weekly, and since this doji, we are already 11% to the downside. We have talked about this doji few weeks back, and we said that this doji, after this uptrend, might identify a trend reversal, and since then 3 weeks in a row we are in a downtrend, breaking below an uptrend channel and an uptrend line. Now the 456 area, look left, the 50% retracement holding support. It was a very difficult area of resistance, broke to the upside beginning of May. Now needs to hold the support, otherwise 433 and 416. Overall bully, bearish on the QQQ on all time frames. This is how the Qs looks on the daily. Let's check the last 89 trading days, trading candles. We are at the lower border of the yellow zone, the 446 area. Look left, very important area of resistance, support. Now support needs to hold, otherwise 434 to the downside. Dow Jones with a double top scenario on the daily. Now the 50% retracement, downside continuation, and we will see 390, 383. This is how the Dow Jones looks on the weekly. Look at this previous week with an engulfing candle. If 392 area will fail to hold the support, this will become an engulfing bearish back to the 386 and 379. IWM closed the week with a super bearish 6.8% on the weekly, back to the 50% retracement, back to the 206 area. As you can see, the 206 area, very, very important area of resistance. Resistance now needs to hold the support below it, and we are back to the 200. Look at Apple. Let's go over the Magnificent 7 real quick. Apple closed the week on the upside, 0.87 to the upside with an inside candle doji. Now the 220 area is the resistance. Next support on Apple on the weekly is the 209. Let's dig in on the daily on Apple. We are now at the 215 area of support. Below it, 209, 200, and 192 to the downside. If you're a pattern trader, what do you see? You can see slight left shoulder, head, maybe right shoulder. And if this right shoulder will get validated, we are heading back to the 192. Microsoft all the way down to the 403 area, the lower border of the yellow zone, broke massively this uptrend line that helps us identify the higher lows since October. Now breaking below the lower border of the yellow zone, needs to hold the support. The 403 area, look left, always look left, trade right. It was a very, very important area of support during January until June. 6 months of a very important support, broke to the upside beginning of June. Now needs to act as support. Below it, 387 and 367. Overall, the overall market looks bearish. Meta with this double top scenario on the weekly. We've been talking about this double top scenario in the past few weeks or so. Now we are almost at the neckline. The 457 area needs to hold the support. Below it, 431 and 404. Let's check Meta on the daily. We have a gap. Let's see if this gap is filled. Yes, this gap is filled. Earnings gap just got filled on Friday. Now the 478 area needs to hold the support. Below it, 463 overall. Bullish on the weekly. Bullish on the daily. Bearish on the weekly. Not much of a price action on Meta. Doesn't look good. Amazon post earnings went down almost 9%. Let's clean the chart a little bit. Only with the FTI. The FTI, one click away, can be on your chart. And the FTI will give you everything that you need. Multi-time frames. Let's bring back time frames. Over here. We are bearish on 3 out of 4 time frames for swing traders. The weekly, the daily, the 4 hours are bearish. We closed this gap from February. Now we have a gap to the upside. This is the only positive things that I can find on Amazon for now, because we know that more than 85% of all gaps will get filled, and this gap, 85% chance it will get filled. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, but no one knows when. Now the 160 is the support. Below it, 149. This is how Amazon looks on the weekly. 157 and 143 to the downside. We are still above this trend line on the weekly. Nvidia closed the week, another red week, 5% to the downside. We are 3 weeks already to the downside on Nvidia, and Nvidia is in a bearish market. Why? Because Nvidia just lost 24% since all-time highs just 1 month ago, 1.5 months ago. Now the 104 area is the support. Below it, 93 and 82. This is how it looks on the daily. We've been talking about this double top scenario in the past few weeks or so. Now we are still inside this downtrend channel, bearish on the weekly. Yes, we got ourselves a bullish on the daily because the lower border of the yellow zone is holding strong as support. But one candle does not change the overall sentiment. We are still inside the downtrend channel. We are still under this double top scenario, and this gap needs to get filled. And each and every day that goes by, we are getting closer to fill this gap. Google closed the week with an inside candle, not much of a price action on Google, holding barely above the upper border of the yellow zone. Now the 160 is the next support. Below it, 153, and Google have a gap at the 144. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Will Google close this gap? We are not so far from this gap. Look at the daily, holding the 165. Below it, we are heading to the 156 gap. Tesla closed the week with another red week, 5.5%, and overall Tesla in the past 3 weeks just lost 24% to the downside. Bearish on all time frames. We are back below this very, very long-term downtrend line. One candle over here did not change the overall sentiment. This is why I always say one candle does not change the higher trend. And the higher trend here, the longer trend, since November of 2021 is still downtrend. Now, the 50% retracement, the 205 area is holding a support. Below it, 189, 189, and then 170 to the downside. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for my top stocks for the coming week. Just hit the like, subscribe, check the links in the description below. Choose your path to financial freedom through trading with me. I am a professional trader, almost 8 years. Professional trader following only candlestick analysis, aka price action on multi-time frames, Fibonacci and trend lines. Check the links in the description below. Choose the one-on-one live mentorship program with me, or the same program, the online expert program. Both programs will give you lifetime access for support and guidance from me, all Discord channels, and of course, the amazing FTI. TI tool. Let's get in my top stocks to watch. NET, Cloudflare is the first name. We are bullish on the weekly, bullish on the 4 hours. We are still bearish on the daily. I want to see continuation. We are still below a very, very long, almost 6 months of a downtrend line. I want to see a break above it, above the 83 and then 87 to the upside. McDonald's broke this downtrend. As you can see, McDonald's had this downtrend. We broke it up. Now let's see continuation. As long as we are above the 267 area, we are heading north to the 280 and then 290 and 294. CL, Colgate Palmolive, still on my top stocks to watch. It was also last week and previous week on my top stocks. Why? Because it's still in a very, very nice uptrend channel. This channel is based on Fibonacci trend lines. We are bullish on all time frames. As long as we are above the 99.50 area, we are good to go long. And if you're already long, congratulations. You can keep your long towards 106 and 109 to the upside. MDT. Why it's on my top stocks? We have this downtrend. Let's take the FTI in the last 55 trading days. Now, as you can see, we are at the upper border of the yellow zone. We are just inch away of breaking this downtrend line. We are already bullish on all time frames. All I want to see is another day or two holding above the 82 area. Then we can start taking long position towards the 83, 85, and 87. HRL is next. Look at this. We are bullish on all time frames. Finally broke up inside and stayed inside the yellow zone above the 32.30 area. Now let's see continuation above the 33, and we will see 34, 35, and 36 to the upside. Next we have ABT, Abbott Laboratories. Broke nicely above the yellow zone. Bullish on all time frames. As long as we are above the 108 area, we can continue our long position. 112.90 is the next resistance. Above it, we are going to close this gap at the 117 and then 121. EA Sports, Electronic Arts is in the game. Uptrend until proven otherwise. We are bullish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. Let's check the last 21 candles for better support and resistance. Long continuation above the 159 area, and we will see 153, 157 to the upside. As long as we are above this red line, you are good to go long on EA Sports. Johnson & Johnson, after very tight consolidation, very tight price action, we are bullish on all time frames. Now let's check. And as long as we are above the 159 area, even above the 160 area, it was resistance over here, resistance over here, resistance over here, and resistance over here. Always look left to get a better point of view of price action. Long continuation, and we are heading north to the 170.40 and 177. MDLZ, Mondelez International. Let's get in the chart a little bit. We are bullish on all time frames. As long as we are above the 68 area, we are good to continue our long position above the 71 towards 72.70 and 75. VRSK, Verisk Analytics. As you can see, we are bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly, but it caught my eye. Why? Because we had a doji over Thursday and a trend reversal candle on Friday. Now all I want to see is continuation above the 269 area, and then we can start taking long position on VRSK. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video. If you find it helpful, educational, please hit the like, subscribe, check the links in the description below. Join me today on this magnificent journey on how to become a profitable trader. Until the next video, until the next live, stay safe.